Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me today in a change of pace situation today. We are going slow, and not that slow that you generally hear me say, but you know that it's not really slow. It's like legit slow today. So I think a lot of us are craving it. Sometimes, we've been on the go and, continued to move forward with that momentum, which is so nice. But every once in a while to really slow things down is so good for us. So especially if you're one of those people who really is on, all the time, I'm so glad that you're here just to really slow things down. And I am stepping up to the challenge as well. I will be the first to admit that going slow is generally not what I gravitate toward. And that's not necessarily a good thing. So trying to find some balance here. Today, since we are going a little bit slower paced, if you want to wear something a little bit more, kind of layering up, totally do that. We will be mainly on the floor except for like one or two things. And in terms of props today, if you have some sort of cushion like the one I'm sitting on, that's great. If you have something that provides you a bit of elevation, that's also really good. So I have a couple of random things that I have, the styrofoam block that came with our dishwasher. So it provides some elevation in case that is something you need when you forward fold. Generally, the floor feels a little bit farther away for you. One of these things is great. And I happen to have a foam roller as well. I'm not foam rolling at all. It's just purely for height. So if you'd like something for height, that is another option. And then one other thing today that we haven't used before is just some sort of strap, right? And if you've taken a class with me in real life, I am definitely not somebody who uses a whole bunch of props. But I think in this case, especially if we are working kind of the whole range and spectrum of different flexibility and everything else, this is a really nice tool just to have handy. And if you don't have a belt, you can also just grab any piece of clothing, t-shirt, and kind of be able to have a little bit of resistance on it. But that's pretty much it. And we'll go ahead and get started. We'll do the full body thing. Saskia answered that question of what do we want to do for wildcard, and she was just like, oh, restorative. And I was like, yes, that's such a great idea. And we will go through our whole body, and I know a lot of you are climbers out there, so we will also do some stuff that I'm sure you will very much appreciate. So let's start with something that's a little bit unconventional. And that's just sitting still, which is fine. You can find any sort of seat that works better for you. I'm just going to find a cross-legged position. And you'll keep your eyes open. So rather going into like full-on yoga mode, keep your eyes open. And I want you to just, as you take your breath, scan your face, right? All of these muscles that we use on the daily kind of to, for facial expressions, to highlight how we're feeling, let that start to gently soften, right? And if it helps you to actually touch your face, I know you can't do that anymore, but just kind of, if this feels right to you, kind of gently touch your face. If this helps to kind of soften things and lose tension out of our cheeks, our jaw, even our temple up here. And then when you feel like, you're done with that, just let your arms relax down and take a couple of slow breaths here. Full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. One more time like that. Inhale. Exhale. And check in with your face again. Keep it very relaxed. And as you start to look up toward this ceiling, let your whole face tilt up. So rather than just looking with your eyebrows and like kind of your eyeballs, let your entire face just gently tilt. So you train then your brow right here not to kind of get crunchy and wrinkled, but just tilt your head to actually shift your gaze. And then gently start to tuck your chin in. And same thing, let your eye gaze just follow where your head goes. Start to look down as your chin lowers down. And same thing, lose any wrinkles sort of that you can feel forming in your brow. And just feel a little bit of stretch through your neck. Good, stay nice and tall. Your next inhale, come back through center. Nice. Still your brow relaxed, just the way we started. Start to look over to your left-hand side, nice and easy. Same thing, looking with your entire face rather than straining. Allow your entire face to look over. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Right now you feel a little bit of a stretch in your neck. And then still looking toward your left-hand side, start to gently lower your chin toward your shoulder. And then start to look up, chin up, gaze up. One more time, passing through that center, still looking left. Chin toward your shoulder. And gently start to let your entire face look up as well. All right, so not letting your eyes go first, letting your entire face go up. And come back into neutral, still looking left. One more breath in, get a little bit taller. Exhale, stay tall, relax your shoulders, return your face back to the screen, looking straight ahead. Really nice. Your next inhale, start to look over to your right-hand side, keeping shoulders square. So just allow your head to turn. And start to feel the stretch a little bit running down the left side of your neck. Still you're nice and tall. And then from here, start to tuck a little bit chin toward your shoulder, letting your eye gaze go with you. And gently bring yourself back up. And let your entire face start to tilt up. Still keep your shoulders relaxed. Still keeping that looking over to the right-hand side. And return. Do that one more time. Slightly tuck your chin down toward your shoulder. Come back up through neutral. Still head turned over to your right-hand side, and then gentle tilt your head up. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your posture tall, lifted. And then lower your chin back to neutral. Lower your eye gaze back to the right-hand side. And return your face back toward the screen, still neutral. Really nice. We have a couple of things here. Let's just take our right hand and do like a half bind. So your right fingers now go all the way back behind you, and maybe they peek out on your left side waist. And for me, I feel like I can do a little bit more. So I'll take my left hand, grab onto my right wrist or anywhere you can grab onto, and give yourself a gentle nudge to pull your right arm a little bit farther over. And then hold yourself there, relax your shoulders down, and then gently lower your head over toward your left-hand side. So again, your right side neck should be highlighted just a little bit more. A little bit of tension there. And we'll just do one time, gentle tuck of your chin down toward your chest. Come back through neutral. And keeping your head dropped over to your left, allow your chin to lift up. Still your eye gaze goes with your head. Nice. And come back into neutral. Really good. Gently release that grip and we'll switch it. So your left hand now wraps around, your left arm wraps around. Maybe your fingers peek out on your right hand side. I'm gonna give myself that manual assist anyway. So use your right hand to help pull your left wrist all the way over so you have a pretty firm bind. And then from this place, sit up nice and tall on your inhale. And then gently pull as you gently lower your head over to your right shoulder. Taking care, both shoulders relax down. Feel your left side of your neck start to lengthen, start to stretch. And again, we'll just do one time. Start to gently tuck your chin in. And feel that stretch continue to highlight for me, just going sort of up my neck on the left-hand side. And then continue, then start to go back through center and tilt your face, your head up toward the ceiling, still with your head tilted over to your right-hand side. Check in with your shoulders, relax them down. One more breath in. One more breath out, super good. Lower your chin back into neutral. Perfect. And release your arms. Loosen up, good. We'll take that belt that we discussed earlier. And let's switch out our legs, by the way. If you had your right leg in front like I did, I'm just gonna switch my left leg in front. And again, I'm sitting on a cushion, so especially if this does not feel good to you, the more elevation you have, the nicer it ought to feel. Okay, so I'm gonna take my belt. This was from when I was feeling very ambitious, a very short little belt. So grab onto, let's say, I'm gonna scoot back a little bit so we can see. So let's say at least beyond your shoulders, but maybe the distance of your knees. Pull it up high toward the ceiling, lift, and then have some tension. So you're not letting it be loose, you have it nice and taut. And then inhale, lift up nice and tall. Bend your body over to your left-hand side. Allow your right-hand side body to stretch. Start to peek out from underneath your right arm. Again, not just with your eyeballs and causing wrinkles in your brow, but really allowing your whole head to tilt. Use your left arm to help pull your right arm a little bit farther. One more breath. In through your nose. Exhale, pull a little bit deeper. And gently come back up. Perfect. From here, inhale, lift again. Start to draw your arms over to your right-hand side. And again, tension on your belt, on your strap as you reach. Start to tilt your entire head, your face, as you gently gaze underneath your left arm. Continue that tension. Inhale, lengthen up a little bit taller. And exhale, maybe use your right arm to gently pull a little bit farther out toward your right, maybe even slightly back behind you. Good, come back through center. Really nice. And just lower these arms down. Bring both legs in front of you and a very generous bend at the moment. Flex both feet back toward your face. Again, I'm gonna stay sitting on this cushion. You don't need to, right? So it's totally up to you what feels better to you. I have a very generous bend in my legs. Flex your feet back toward your face. And then take again your strap, your belt underneath the soles of your feet, right? Sort of the arch side. And then from this place, still very generous bend, we take some cat-cows. On your inhale, open up through your chest. So really exaggerate it here. Puff your chest open. Think of your chest lifting well forward of your shoulders. Squeeze your blades, pick up your chest, and hold. Good. And then once you finish with this, exhale, start to round. Now push against your strap as you allow your shoulder blades to broaden, and you have so much leverage here to really push against this strap. Allow your shoulder blades to broaden, hollow out through your chest. Do it again. Inhale. Lift up tall through your chest, drop your shoulders, squeeze your blades, send your gaze up as you push your chest up proud. And exhale, go round, broaden, spread out your blades, hollow out through your chest. And again, use this tension as you push your body back. You have this tension of your feet pushing against the strap in the other direction. One more time. Inhale. You can change the grip on your strap. Tighten up the choke if you'd like. Open up through your chest. And let's again exhale, go round. Really hollow. Take opportunity here to round, to broaden out through your blades, to really feel that nice little juicy stretch. And I'm even doing a little bit of a right-left rock to encourage my blades to separate just a bit more. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. One more. And gently return into neutral. Really nice. Okay, from here, we're gonna continue holding on to this strap. Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to this strap with my left arm and just drop this strap back behind me. So bend your left arm back, drop it back behind you. Oh, it's getting stuck in my hair. And then take a hold of this strap with your right arm. As you bend your elbow to face down toward the floor, you grab on to your strap as well. All right, so from this place, I'm gonna first work just this left tricep. So use your right arm to help pull down. And as you do so, your left elbow ought to lift up. All right, start to highlight that stretch through your left tricep. And this might not seem really necessary. Like, why do I need a strap for this? And you're right. You could probably do this quite easily just by taking your right hand and pulling your left elbow back. You're absolutely correct. But we've got it set up in this fashion. So once we finish with that tricep, we'll do the other arm, right? So keeping yourself in this place, use your left arm to help gently pull up high toward this ceiling. So now you're guiding this right arm up a little bit more, right? You know, sometimes for me, at least my right hand side is a little bit less willing to go up there, crawl up and scratch my back. So this is a nice way to just give yourself a little bit of assistance in sending your right fingers up your back a little bit more easily. Do that one more breath in. And one more breath, pull a little bit more, get a little bit tension as you pull your left arm up toward the ceiling. Good, and let's gently release. We'll switch it out. So your right hand grabs onto this strap and we send this guy behind. All right, and then take your left arm, of course you bend it, and grab it as well. So as close as possible is a little bit better, right? So especially if you're super, super close, you might not even need this strap. And then for some of us who are a little bit tighter, you might look a little bit more like this, and you'll find that you have a lot more kind of leverage to move around with this. Of course, you're moving much slower than I just did. So we'll start again by pulling with our left hand to give our right arm some tension. You find yourself in a tricep stretch. But again, for this one, if you feel like, oh, I don't really need the strap for this, if you'd prefer the stretch this way with your left elbow grabbing, or left hand, I'm sorry, grabbing your right elbow, go for it and find that stretch there. But if you want to try it with this situation, pull with your left arm and feel your right elbow lift up a little bit higher. Okay, so let's switch it to the other one then. From here, you have a good grip with your right hand. Start to pull with your right arm up a little bit higher. So your left fingers start to trace up your back just a little bit more easily. And then while you go up there, check in with your left shoulder. If it's super hiked, just relax it and continue. Once you've made any sort of change, you take a pause, hold, and if you're able to do a little bit more, you add some tension by pulling again this right arm and letting your left fingers go up your back a little bit more. Take one more breath here in. One more breath out. Perfect. Let's gently release, release. Awesome. Okay, from this place, let's take hands behind you and just prop yourself up, right? So if you're just kind of opening up your shoulders, your chest, first step, find your hands behind you, just like you're sitting into like a beach chair. Use your fingers to prop yourself up and sit up nice and tall. And if this feels like a lot, you stay right here, right? You can bend your legs any amount or straighten them however feels nice to you. If you're actually quite okay in this position, you don't feel like you feel a whole bunch in this, you can start to draw your arms back a little bit farther. So maybe you interlace your fingers and push your knuckles down into the floor as you send your chest up. Again, your legs can be bent or straight. Really push your chest up and find some elevation in your chest. Now, if you still feel like this is not enough for you, keep that interlaced set of fingers and then flip them, right? So flip them so your fingers are facing down toward the floor. And you start to reach, oh, that's nice, Paula. You start to reach your arms a little bit farther back. So this looks kind of not pleasant because my arm's a little bit hyperextend. So I'm going to do a slight bend, but do not be concerned. So from here, right now my chest is a little bit dumped. I'm going to push my chest up, right? So this is what I'm looking to achieve. That openness of cow, just like in cat-cow, with my arms extended as much as possible, with my chest lifted as much as possible. And if you still feel like you would like more, you continue to walk these arms back even farther, right? Little bit at a time. Eventually, you're just completely flat against the floor. So let's hang out there in your version of whatever you prefer, right, of this chest opener for 3 more breaths. Pick up your chest, inhale. And remember, when things feel a little bit, active or tight, or you feel like you're working hard, go back to what we did initially, which was the whole relaxing of our face. Continue with your slow, deep breaths. Really lift up through your chest, right? Avoid the squinting and allow your brow to be free of wrinkles. You just lift, keep it nice and calm. And it's not just for the aesthetics. We're going for that nice, clear, smooth brow to hopefully also stay clear and smooth in our thoughts and our mind, right? It all kind of trickles down from how we express ourselves and how we allow our bodies to move. One more breath in. One more breath out. If you're in a kind of a deeper position, slightly bend your arms to release your arms entirely and shake it loose. Really nice work. As you'll notice, we're kind of working our way from top down. Okay, so sitting now in just a normal seat as we have been, again, you can change out your feet. We will do something that feels like our scapular push-ups. So from here, just take your hands forward like you're pushing something away, right? And notice right now, as I'm just pushing the imaginary thing away, that my wrist flexion is not completely 90 degrees, right, on its own. Meaning in high plank, I can get myself there, but just on its own, that flexion doesn't really work quite so well. This is actually the extension, I'm sorry. So with your wrist extension, check to see where you are, right? It might be the case that you're like, oh gosh, 90 degrees is super easy, but I venture to guess that a lot of us are kind of less than 90 and kind of sometimes even working here. So if you feel like high plank doesn't feel really good, this is the situation, right? Just your range of motion. So from this place, as you're pushing something away, start to broaden through your blades, right? Just as we did before, as if you're pushing just a little bit farther, hollow out your chest and push. So you still sit up nice and tall. You just add that push to broaden out through your blades. Now continue this engagement. It's actually a lot of work. I am kind of warm right now. So from this place, continue to push, 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 and start to draw your arms up a little bit higher, still with that active push. And then just a little bit lower, right? So I'm working not too big of a range here. And then this time as you go up, flip, so working wrist flexion, let your wrists go up high toward the ceiling, still with your broaden out blades. And then as you come down, bring your fingers back and slide down this imaginary wall. As you go up, let your fingers press down, let your fingers face you, so it's quite aggressive. And then come down, heels of your palms as far out as possible. Again, tops of your hands away from you. Shine your wrists out and lower down, heels of your palms as far away from you as possible. Last time, up you go. Go lift, nice, and go down. Good, and then gently shake that loose. Return back to normal, just neutral spine is perfect. And just show me your arms. Show me your arms, palms face up. From here, get your pinky fingers to face up even higher. So with your palms facing up, you just rotate out so almost the tops of your hands are facing each other. Find that rotation from your shoulders. And they'll switch it the other direction. So palms go from facing up to now facing out with the tops of your hands facing each other. And see if you can get your thumbs to push out to the right, to the left as far as possible. Right, without actually going like this, keeping your fingers still in that same line. But feel that rotation, right, through your entire shoulder. Feel that rotation. And let's go again. Rotate until now your pinky finger is as high up as possible, palms face out. Drop your shoulders. And switch it. Tops of your hands face each other, pinky fingers toward each other, push, push, push. Oops, I did the thing that I said not to do. Keep your thumbs in line with the rest of your fingers, but think about palms, or think about your thumbs going out to the right, to the left. 2 more times then. Rotate, pinky fingers up, really show your pinky fingers off toward me. Good. And flip it around the other direction. Good. Thumbs push out as much as possible. So feel this rotation, right, as you get your thumbs out to the right, to the left as much as possible. And last time here. Backs of your hands face each other. Pinky fingers face up. And let's switch it one last time. And gently release. So in that same vein, we're going to do a little bit of rotator cuff stuff. Find yourself in goalpost arms, right? So goalpost arms, nice and easy. Without changing your spine though, top of your head through your tail, one piece. Just take your forearms and bring them back, right? So it's like you're saying hallelujah, but without lifting your chest, right? So from this place, you're just tilting back. Keep your elbows in that same place. Hold right here. Continue to think of rotating so your forearms start to face the ceiling, but without actually arching through your spine, right? So still you pull your belly in, still your posture nice and tall, still your elbow shoulder height. Just you think of opening up your forearms to rotate up toward the ceilings. Hold right here and keep it active, right? Hold for 4. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Hold for 1. And then keeping your elbows in the same place, just rotate so we're going in the other direction. So as your palms go back, your elbows stay up and you're just trying to push back, right? But your elbows are still up there, so I'm not going very far back at all, right? Keep your chest lifted. Tendency is to want to hinge here. Rochelle, I did not forget about you. I think creative cardio is a great idea, and that will definitely happen during the week. And then one more time, lift so your forearms feel like they're going to rotate up to face the ceiling without changing your spine, right? No arch in your spine. So I feel this a lot through kind of my wings here. Good. And then let's go the other direction. And with all these stretches, we generally think of putting ourselves in a position and then just hanging out, right? And sometimes there is something to be said for just hanging out. But oftentimes it is the case that once you find yourself in a position and you lose that initial stretch or your initial feeling, then you must do something else to revive that feeling, right? To revive that stretch, to highlight it again, right? And let's come back through center, hold. Perfect. With your arms in this place, we're just gonna do this thing that looks like this, our 10 fingers. We're just gonna drop them down and then slide your fingers up your palm until they straighten. So drop, slide your fingers up your palm, straighten. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, good. That's 6, that's 7, that's 8, 9, however you like to do it, 10, we'll do 10 more, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Ryan Smith, who used to set at First Ascent, he has since moved to Manhattan, but he offered that up as a great way to train forearms. And I was like, yes, I'm all about that. And here's another way to continue that. So we'll do 20 of these. You're just in tabletop, stack your shoulders over your wrists, your knees underneath your hips. And from this place, all you'll do is use your forefingers still against the floor, lift the butt of your palms up off of the floor, right? So it looks like this from this side. You just lift and you lower. So let's do 20 of those then. No dumping in your chest, stay hollow. Let's go. 1, lower. 2, lower. 3, initially when I did these, lower. 4, it took me sort of some time to find the rhythm. 5, lower. So if that's the case for you, not to worry. 6, lower. 7, lower. 8, lower. 9, lower. 10. We'll do 10 more, a little faster now. 10, lower. 9, lower. 8, so push right back up. 7, lower. 6, lower. That's it. 5, lower. 4, lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. 1, lower. Great. So that should just brings a little bit of movement and heat into your forearms. What I do on the daily basis is 100 of each of those and a couple other forearm things just to keep these guys big and ready for climbing. But we'll do a little stretch for that now. So once you're in tabletop, let's just take this left forearm and slide it just in front of our knees, right? And then from here, walk your knees up. I like to use the opposite knee, but you can decide what you prefer. So I like to use my right knee on top of my left forearm to give myself a little massage. You can decide what works a little bit better for you, whether it is constant movement, right, left, forward, back, or if you prefer, oh gosh, my forearm feels like it needs this right now, and you just stay. Right, just that pressure that you apply there should feel so, so nice. And you can absolutely adjust like how much pressure you're adding in, right? So right now I'm kind of putting a lot, which sometimes I like, but there are other days where I'm like, not feeling the whole ton of pressure thing. So I lighten up the load. All right, one more breath here then. And let's gently release, come out of this. And of course, we'll just switch this side. So your right forearm then, just like you're doing almost like the thread the needle, but you're stopping halfway. And again, I like to do my opposite. So I'll bring my left knee up and do a little bit of this right left action, forward back action. And you can constantly kind of change around not only the pressure, but how much you move your right knee forward as well. So there's a lot of sort of tailorization you can put into this, which is really nice. And there might be some days where you're like, I am not into this at all, right? Massage is a good thing, but sometimes too much of it can feel like too much as well and start to become a bad thing. So definitely do not feel like you have to be in this. Totally come out of it if you are ready to do so. So from here, let's gently release. So return your knees and we'll start to move. We've basically done up to this point. So we're moving into our spine. We're not doing much sort of strengthening today. What I am interested in is a twist though. So we'll start with our sort of basic twist, and you know spine twist, many of you do. If this has always been sort of not comfortable for you, again, you can bring something out that's a little firmer underneath your bottom. And I'm gonna do this version first. If you already know what a spine twist looks like and you want to head on there, go ahead. So I'm gonna start with my left leg bent in front of me with this cushion underneath my butt and place my right foot over my left knee. And if you're like, Jen, you said you would go for the easier version first and you don't like this, oh gosh, for sure. Take your right heel out from that place and sit here. If you're still like, Jen, you don't understand, like I just cannot sit in this fashion, take your left leg out and move it anywhere. It's perfect. Let it go. We don't mind it. So from this place, take your right hand back behind you. Lift your left arm all the way up. Now, regardless of what your leg situation looks like, I do want you to think of your left armpit going outside of your right thigh, right? This may or may not be actually feasible, but we want to think about that anyway, right? So on your inhale, lift up super tall for me, pull your navel in tight. Then as you twist, take your left armpit outside of your left thigh and lift. From this place, go twist a little bit deeper. If you're truly like, hey, this does not work for me, absolutely, right? Grab onto the outside of your right thigh, lift up tall from there, and maybe you just use your left hand to push the outside of your right calf or right thigh as much as you can is perfect. And I kind of understand in this fashion, you don't have a lot of leverage, right? So if you're sort of not as mobile in this general region, to tell yourself to do this is quite challenging. That's why we have this next exercise coming up. So wherever you are then, take a full deep inhale. I'll just do one more other variation. Some of you are already in this. And on your exhale, really feel your belly button. Pass your right thigh. Go twist. Relax your shoulders down. Look past your right shoulder twist. And go twist. Good. Gently untwist. Let's swap out our sides. So again, you decide which option you prefer. I'll do kind of a combination of those. So bend your right leg, or your right leg might be extended in some fashion. Your left leg then is either across your right knee, or if that does not feel good, no problem. Your left foot is outside of your right leg. So just next to each other is perfect too. Left hand close with the base. Now, just like earlier when we said we want to think of this as sitting up into a beach chair. This is very functional. It's not just hanging out, right? So use your left finger to help lift. For me, I'm growing all 5'2" of me as tall as possible. And once you lengthen, you'll extend your right arm fingers all the way up toward this ceiling. Think armpit. Lift. Continue that lift as you twist just around your belly button area, and then get your right armpit past your left thigh. And you might find that one side is slightly more accessible than the other, right? So you think about armpit, but if you're like, hey, this is my side, that doesn't work that way, totally hear you. You grab on, maybe your leg is out here, and then use this leverage, your strength, to twist yourself a little bit more each time. The thing is here though, the one constant for every single variation is this lift on your inhale and this push with your left fingers to gain some height. From there, you pull your navel in. From there, with your belly pulled in, you twist, look past your left shoulder, you twist, maintain your length, you twist, and gently return. Really nice job. So again, I pointed out that one's kind of tricky, right? If you're already dealing with sort of not too much mobility here, let's see if this one works a little bit better. I personally love this because I find so much depth in it. So let's start with our legs bent, and I'm gonna turn my back to you, pardon me, but I think you will need to too. So turn your back to the screen and then bend your legs up just like we would be setting up for boat, right? So your legs are parallel with each other, and then just drop your knees over to your right hand side and then turn around to face my voice, the screen. All right, so now you're in Sphinx. Drop your forearms down with your knees in your current left side, but when you're facing back, they were over on your right. Okay, so hopefully you look like me. I'm mirrored, you mirrored, right? And then from this place, inhale, lengthen again, send your chest forward of your shoulders, find even distribution of weight in between your forearms, and you stay for the twist. If you're like, this is a lot for me already, you stay right here. If you can afford to do this and really ask your body this question, not just jamming and forcing your body, right? If you can afford to do this, take your right hand and bring it back to the plane of your left elbow. Hug your right elbow in close with your body, and then push into your right palm to give yourself even more of a twist, right? So you find that your chest now starts to open up toward the right hand side. This right shoulder will want to dump on you. So you draw it back, open your chest, and continue to twist as much as you can. This left elbow might lift up off the floor. That's just fine. You continue to twist here. Your right hip is basically stuck, right? The floor is helping you to stay in that place, and you twist your upper body using the strength of your right hand to push. Hold one more breath, inhale, lengthen, just like you did earlier. Lengthen out through your crown, your tail. On your exhale, push into your right palm as much as your body is saying it's okay. You twist. Open your chest toward your right hand side. Okay, let's gently undo. You can come back to forearms and just push yourself back up. Unwind. And then from here, drop your legs. Once your back is to the screen, drop your legs over to the other side. So they should be to your left-hand side, and then when you turn around to face me, they're on your right-hand side. All right, so elbows drop down, and you find yourself in Sphinx again. Check your elbows aren't too wide. And in particular, for any twists, you want to create length first. So just like how we emphasize that inhale lengthening on our seated spine twist, we want to find it here as well. So let me see if I can show you. We don't want to look like this. On your inhale, you lengthen, right? Really think somebody is pulling through the crown of your head, somebody's lengthening out through your tail, all in that one inhale, right? There's so much we can adjust, do that little, through that little breath, right? Once you do that inhale, you stay for your exhale and just see what your body is feeling right here. And if your body is feeling quite okay and willing on this side, it might be different from your first side. If it's ready, your left palm can then pick up, slide to the plane of your right elbow. Naturally, your chest will want to dump. You draw this left shoulder back, hug your left elbow in close, drop your left shoulder down away from your ear and push into your left palm as much as you see fit. Check though, with every single inhale, you continue to lengthen, right? And sometimes, even when I take my inhales to lengthen, I can feel my spine sort of crack a little bit more as it's gained some length, right? And then your exhale, you can afford to push and twist and do all those things if your body allows, right? And even in this twist, which seems so silly, you might have a side that is more willing to move than the other side, right? And that's just fine. So we'll hold here for one more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Really feel the crown, your tail lengthening in opposite directions. On your exhale, as much as your body sees fit, push into your left palm. Go twist, twist, twist. Good, and then gently, we release these arms, elbows down. Push ourselves back up. And return to that seated position. And you might just crawl your feet over so we can see each other. And we'll do just a little mild right-left action with our legs, right? So just super mild, super mild. Believe it or not, that's halfway through the class. So I totally realize that's already 45 minutes. But according to my notes, that's 1 through 5, and we have 6 through 9 to go. So anyway, we are moving into figure 4 next. So kind of again, trickling down, moving into our hips next. I want to do figure 4 because it's something that's a thing that's thrown into many a class. So we might as well figure it out and sort of see how we can do it properly the best we can. So go ahead and lie down. I'm just going to lie down from this side here, so hopefully we can see. And then bend up your left leg so your left foot ankle goes over your right thigh. And immediately at any time you're in figure 4, I want you to immediately think of flexing your top foot. So your left foot is flexed, it stays right here. And then right now, in this figure 4 position, it's pretty mild, right? So if you are kind of, you've moved, you've had some sort of exercise in the past, maybe you don't feel a lot in this position, right? So if that is the case, let's continue just a little bit then. Pick up your bottom leg and then thread. So take your left arm in between your two legs, your right arm around your right leg, and interlace back behind your right thigh. From this place, on your inhale, get a little bit longer, take that deep breath, and on your exhale, pull your right thigh in toward you as you gently use your left elbow to push your left inner thigh or your left knee away from you. This is not an aggressive push. It is an encouraging nudge. Check in with your left foot. Your right foot, really, it doesn't matter. I kind of have the habit of flexing. You don't really need to, actually. Flex your left foot, though, for sure, and give yourself just that gentle pull. And we'll hang out here for 2 more breaths. In through your nose. Exhale out. One more time, inhale through your nose. Exhale, push your left elbow into your left inner thigh. So that's another example when you breathe, when you're in a stretch, you want to keep it active so you feel something the entire time. We're going to continue on with this cross. We'll revisit figure 4 in just a bit. So continue to take your left leg over your right leg. So now there is no space between your legs, right? Once you're here, no space between your legs, flex both of your feet. And as you lift up your arms naturally, your right hand should be able to grab onto your left foot. Your left hand should be able to grab onto your right foot. And when I say should be able to, it might mean that you still need to move around a little bit, lift your butt up a little bit, all those things, but meaning it's right there ready for you. Once you're in this place, I'm doing it from this angle so that you can see what's happening. It is likely the case that it feels much better here with your heels sagged down. I would like for you to attempt, though, picking your heels up. So now it's like you have figure 4 in both legs. No gap between your thighs. And from here, take an inhale, get a good grip. On your exhale, as you flex your feet, use your strong arms to pull. Bend your arms like you're pulling a bar down toward your chest. Keep your heels lifted away from your butt. Your tailbone may not drop down, and that's just fine. Hang out right here. There should be good separation, your heel away from your hip. Flex both of your feet. Stay for one more breath. I'm going to change my angle a little bit so you don't need to see my butt. And exhale, hold. Okay. From this place, we'll continue on. Start to gently straighten out through your right leg. And when I say straighten, again, it's not necessarily the case that that's your terminal place. It might be the case that you stop sort of halfway, and that's just fine. As you flex your foot, send energy out through your right heel, and then continue to apply some pressure with your right hand over your left leg as well. You should feel this nice highlighted stretch, maybe through the outside of your right leg. Hold one more breath in. Exhale, continue to kick out through your right heel. Let that stretch marinate. And then gently bend your right leg, return. And then on your next inhale, start to kick your left heel, so the one that your right hand is holding on to. Continue to kick your left heel, so now that stretch is highlighted through your outside of your left leg. And still there's a little bit of tension with your left hand against your right foot, just so that your right leg does not fling out of the position. Take one more breath here. Inhale, send energy out through your heel, continue to kick. Exhale, you stay. And then maybe if your left leg is straight, you even use your right arm to help pull your left leg in a little bit closer. Good, gently return to that butterfly hold. Push down with or pull down with your hands, and then pull your legs apart by moving your arms out to the right, left, farther. Flex your feet. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Gently release. So swap out your legs for figure 4, your right foot ankle over your left thigh. So start with your left foot flat. And again, this might vary again, side to side. So that first side may have felt really comfortable, easy, and this side might be the more challenging side for you, and that's fine. You can stay down here and use your right hand to help push your right inner thigh away from you. So eventually you're looking for both knees to make them make one line. But if you feel relatively comfortable here, again, your right foot is flexed. Start to lift your left leg off of the floor.
take your right arm thread, and then take your left arm to the outside of your left leg, interlace, and gently pull. Flex your right foot for sure. This left one, you can do whatever you like. I tend to end up flexing. I don't think that's necessarily helpful, but I do it anyway, just out of habit. You can probably afford to let it hang loose though. 2 breaths. Inhale, lengthen. On your exhale, gently pull your interlaced fingers toward you as you push your right elbow into your right thigh. And one more time, inhale. Exhale, draw your left thigh toward you, your right inner thigh away from you. And gently release. We'll move into that butterfly once again. So continue the cross by sending your right leg just over your left. So no space between your thighs. And then again, you might need to do some manipulating, but eventually you want to grab right hand to left foot and left hand to right foot. Flex both of your feet. And for it to feel to get the best benefit out of the stretch, rather than letting your heels hang down here, to feel something, you must lift your heels up and then give yourself a gentle nudge downward. Flex your feet still. Take a couple of breaths here. This one is a good one and an easy one to feel active because you know the moment you hang loose, right? And you can feel nothing at all in this posture if you let yourself, right? With your heels down, with your feet not flexed. But the moment you flex your feet, the moment you lift your heels away from your butt and actually nudge your legs so that your shins become almost parallel to the floor, then you'll start to feel something. So, with your left leg then, flex your foot, start to send energy out through your heel. Flex your foot. Continue to give yourself that nudge downward. And again, if your leg is completely straight, use your right arm to help pull your left leg even farther down. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then gently bend your left leg. And then start to straighten out through your right leg, little bit at a time. And taking care, your both feet remain flexed. And again, it might be the case that your leg does not go to a terminally straight place. And that's just fine. You continue to send energy out through your right heel though. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Gently bend your right leg again. And give yourself another nudge. So your feet, try to drive them downward toward the floor best you can, right? So rather than up here, the more you can drive your feet downward toward the floor, right, the more of the stretch you'll experience. Flex your feet, but be kind. So every time you make a change, you want to feel something, but never forcing, just encouraging. And gently undo these legs and sit yourself back up. Nice work. Okay. So we have a couple more. This one's going to combine a little bit of hips with hamstrings. And I do believe we'll be running out of time in a minute or so. So I'm going to end this video and move on to the next one. And if you still have the patience to continue to work, let's jump on to the next video together. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit.